Let's talk about a paradox we're all living with. We have thousands of friends online, endless ways to connect. But in our most important relationships, a lot of us are feeling, well, more disconnected than ever. So, how do we find our way back to real, genuine intimacy in this digital world? Today, we're diving into the brilliant work of psychosexual therapist Kate Moyle. She's created a kind of blueprint for reconnecting, and we're going to walk through it.
Moyle kicks things off with this image, and wow, it just hits you, right? The phone as this uninvited guest in our most private, intimate space. A third person. That one idea really captures the whole struggle we're facing, this quiet war between being truly present with someone and the constant pull of digital distraction. So let's start by really digging into this core problem, what Moyle calls the modern disconnect. I mean, this is the irony of our time, isn't it? We've got all these amazing tools that are supposed to bring us closer, but they've accidentally created this new kind of emotional gap. You know that feeling? You're sitting with someone you love, but you can just feel that their attention is split, that part of their brain is still scrolling somewhere else. It's this constant, low-grade distraction that just slowly, quietly eats away at the foundations of connection. But it's not just our phones. Moyle points out that we're also dealing with these internal roadblocks, these powerful, invisible myths we've all inherited about what intimacy is supposed to be. She calls them sexual scripts. This breakdown is just so revealing. Okay, so on the left, you've got the cultural script we're all handed. It teaches us that intimacy is basically a performance. You have to be perfect. It's all about achieving a certain result. But what Moyle shows us is that this turns what should be a shared experience into this high-pressure test that we feel like we're always failing. The goal, she says, is to move to the right side, to authentic connection, where just being present is more important than putting on a show, where being curious totally replaces the need for perfection, and where we can actually enjoy the process instead of just stressing about the outcome. And all that pressure to perform leads to this really strange psychological state that Moyle calls spectatoring. Think about it like this. Instead of actually being in the moment, feeling it, you're kind of floating above yourself, watching a movie of yourself, and grading your own performance. Am I doing this right? Is this what it's supposed to look like? You become an audience member for your own life. And when you're doing that, real presence, real connection, it's pretty much impossible. And this right here, this is how we start to break free. Moyle is basically telling us to stop worshiping at the altar of normal. Chasing some fictional idea of what everyone else is supposedly doing, an idea fed to us by movies and social media, is a guaranteed recipe for anxiety. The second we stop grading ourselves against that imaginary curve, we free up so much mental energy to actually figure out who we are and what genuine connection feels like for us. So, we've talked about the internal myths that hold us back. Now let's circle back to that other barrier, that very real third person in the room, our technology. Our digital lives really do a number on our brains. This idea of continuous partial attention means we're training our minds to never be fully focused on any one thing. That just wrecks our ability to tune into the slow, quiet, sensory details of being with another person. And let's be honest, our phones are also the perfect escape hatch from vulnerability, right? A tough conversation starts and, oh, look, a notification. It's an easy way out. And all of this leads to phubbing, snubbing someone for your phone, which sends a very loud and clear message: whatever is on this screen is more important than you are right now. This quote just nails the distinction we need to make. We've started to confuse being digitally connected, having full bars and a charged battery, with actual human connection. One is just a technical status. The other, that's a state of the heart. And Moyle is reminding us we can't afford to get those two mixed up. Okay, so we've laid out the problems pretty clearly. It can feel a little bleak, but here's the good news. Moyle doesn't just leave us there. She gives us a very clear, very practical blueprint for how to fight back and reclaim our connections. It really boils down to these 3 key steps. Number 1, build a language. Actually learn how to talk about this stuff. Number 2, reclaim your time. This is about setting real boundaries. Think phone-free bedrooms to create protected, sacred spaces for your relationship. And number 3, inhabit your body. It's time to get out of our heads and back into our senses. That first step, building a language, is so critical. It's the biggest irony, isn't it? Our culture is saturated with images of sex, but we are completely illiterate when it comes to actually talking about it openly and honestly. We use guesswork, we try to read minds, because no one ever gave us the words.
Moyle says that learning this vocabulary is maybe the single most important skill for a healthy, intimate life.
And that third step deals with what Moyle calls our disembodiment. I love this idea of being walking heads. It feels so true. We spend our days analyzing, planning, worrying, basically using our bodies as taxis for our brains. Reconnecting means we have to consciously shift our focus away from how our body looks to the outside world and toward how it feels from the inside. It's about swapping judgment for sensation.
So, when you start to put all these pieces together, you tear down the myth of normal, you build some digital walls, you learn the language, you end up with a totally redefined and frankly much more fulfilling vision of what intimacy can be.
And if you take away only one thing today, let it be this. This is the whole game. The goal is not to put on some flawless performance that's ready for a Hollywood movie. The real goal is to simply practice being present with yourself and with another person. It's a huge shift from seeing intimacy as a final exam you have to pass to seeing it as a practice you get to explore. It's not a test, it's a practice.
Ultimately, what Kate Moyle gives us is a sense of empowerment. She reminds us that we're the ones in charge here. We are the architects of our relationships. We have the tools, we have the knowledge to move past all this distraction and build connections that are way deeper, more authentic, and just better. So the blueprint is right here. The only real question left is, what are we going to build with it?